Happy Sunday, girlfriend. Welcome back to Find Natural Hair Rocks. If you're watching the replay, then thank you so much for joining me today on our Sunday Night Live. So, of course, usually we're here on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. However, I wasn't able to come this Friday. We had a wedding to attend on Friday, and so we weren't able to come. But nevertheless, here we are. Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much for joining me. I want to say that, of course, today we're gathered to talk about what exactly is going to work for your fine natural strands. Now, if you do have fine natural hair can be any form of hair really that you have difficulties growing. It's not thick, it's fine, it tends to break off very easily. If any of those things apply to you, then chances are likely you probably have fine natural hair. Now, today's subject is fine naturals do this one thing and your hair will love you. Now, cutting right to the chase on what that one thing is, it comes down to patience. But we hear that all the time, right? We hear patience is necessary, have patience when detangling, have patience when putting in your styles. But what does that really mean when you break it down? Like, what does that even look like? And for so many different people, that could look like different things, right? I see there are three of us in the chat. I want to shout each and every one of you out. Thank you so much for joining because today's video is a good one. You're in for a treat. Before we jump on into this, I want to go ahead and just shout out Fine Natural Hair Rocks, the small but growing Fine Natural Hair Rocks team that has been able to put together a launch for our new merch. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen very, very quickly. Hi, Nadoom. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If you're wondering what the merch looks like in real, I'm actually wearing it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what I'm wearing. This is our girlfriend only top. And it's just an Afro girl right there. And it has our little Fine Natural Hair Rocks logo on the side. It's also got a really cute little tie knot going on here. And it's super comfy for the summertime. So really excited about that. Hi, Dorothy Jones. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, I'm going to also go ahead and just show you, I'm going to share my screen very quickly to show you what the rest of the Fine Natural Hair Rocks store looks like. You will notice that all of the Fine Natural Hair Rocks merch is underneath all of our videos. At this point, there's like 391 videos dedicated to you and your fine natural strands. So if you've got any difficulties growing your hair out, you're trying to thicken it up, you're trying to lengthen it, maybe you're trying to style it, whatever the case might be, it's absolutely available right here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks for your use and for your resources. So in terms of the merch, we've got cups, we've got tote bags, we've got shirts. If you're kind of, sometimes feeling like, maybe need a little motivational boost, sometimes you're looking for things that represent you outside, and we don't necessarily see those things all the time. Fine Natural Hair Rocks is here for you to embrace and celebrate those curls in ways that we don't always see outside. So continuing along, there's a water bottle, there's a bat pat, there's even a mouse pad for those of you who are still using mouse pads. I know I still use mine. There's a cup, there's a fanny pack. I also wanted to say that we are actually having a sale right now. So shipping is free for the next 2 days only. So if you do put in an order today or tomorrow, you will get shipping free. And that applies to both the US and the Canadian shop. So that's really good. Here's the top that I'm wearing right now. That's our FNHR Curlfriend Women's Knotted t-shirt. And the list just kind of goes on and on. So I am constantly, adding to the shop. I'm constantly creating new creations, new designs that are really going to help us, just feel a little bit more connected to our journeys because it can be difficult at times. Hi, Carl. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. So hopping right on into this, because this is the reason why you even came here today, which is what exactly do you need to do to your fine strands so that your hair will love you? Girlfriend, I'm here to tell you, oftentimes when you're watching the videos and, I'm saying like low manipulation styles, protective styling, moisturize your hair, make sure that your ends are nice and clean. The one thing though, that's going to really make the difference between doing those things and seeing success and doing those things and not really seeing success is patience. So for example, it's a late night, you come in from a party and you're dead tired, so tired, you don't even want to take off your makeup, maybe from work even, you're dealing with work, you're dealing with the boss, you're dealing with the kids, you're dealing with the hubby, you're dealing with life. And then now you've got to deal with your hair too. Patience in a situation like that means not just jumping on the couch, not just hopping into bed, but making sure that you cover those strands on up with a bonnet. So for me, I have tons of bonnets in my home. I've got a regular bonnet that you would find at the beauty supply store. And if you are interested in, replenishing your bonnet, or maybe you don't even have a bonnet, you can absolutely find bonnets located in the description box down below. We sell them at Beauty Club Outlet, and it's also available at the Amazon shop. But that being said, or even a scarf can work too. Really anything that's satin or silk lined. Maybe when you're going biking, it's so easy to hop on the bike, throw on your bicycle cap, and not necessarily cover your hair on up with a bonnet. I'm just looking this way right now to show you an example of that when you've got some time. So go ahead and check out the latest shorts video showing you how your bonnet and how your bicycle, the helmet, can actually cause damage to your fine and fragile natural strands. So the thing about fine hair, be it fine hair that's straight or fine hair that's highly textured, but particularly fine hair that's really textured, really it's so susceptible to damage. And so patience in ensuring that you go about your day thinking about the ways in which your day can cause damage, you can really avoid that. Now, it sounds like a lot to do in the beginning if you're not really inclined to think like that, and it absolutely can be at first. But I promise you that over time, you will absolutely start to feel like this is second nature to you. Like, I kid you not, I can't even fall asleep without my bonnet on. I can't even hang out on the couch without my bonnet on. It feels like I'm naked. So, I mean, that's the point that you will eventually get to as it relates to, just protecting those strands in moments when you can protect those strands. Hi, Thandi. Hi, Londa. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the Curl Friend chat. Very, very happy to have you here. And thank you so much for joining and supporting Fine Natural Hair Rocks. If you are enjoying this live stream, or if you've ever enjoyed any live stream, any video, anything like that here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit up the notification bell button so that you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. There's going to be a brand new one tomorrow. So that's the tip number one as it relates to the patience piece. Now, what about patience as it relates to a weave, or even like any other protective styles? Like, let's be real, not because you have fine strands means that you don't want to rock whatever style you want to rock and not worry about it. Now, I was there. Like, before I understood how fine strands worked, before I started studying my own fine strands and now providing information about how fine strands work, I would engage in the styles that everybody else is enjoying and then end up with breakage. I'm here to tell you, girlfriend, that you don't have to live with your hair like a hermit. You can enjoy your hair. It's just, how are you doing that? So for example, right now I'm actually rocking a weave. Some of it is protective. I would say 90% of my hair is in a protective style because it's cornrowed and then the tracks are on the top, right? But then for the parts where, there's leave out, for example, that's susceptible to breakage. And if I don't exhibit patience, if I don't exercise patience on those pieces of the hair that are out, so it would be just the perimeter right here is real. And then, of course, right here, I'm going to run into problems. So what does that even look like? That looks like, when I'm at home exhibiting patience by not necessarily, like, if my hair tends to, curl back up. If you have natural hair and your hair is healthy, any bit of moisture in the air is going to make your hair revert, right? When my hair reverts, as opposed to kind of ripping through it with a comb to try and get it to go straighter, ripping through it with a brush to try and make it blend, I don't do any of that. I'm not here to fight my strands. And I don't think anybody should be here to fight their strands. And so if you're working with your strands and you're, in a mind frame of patience, you might say to yourself, okay, well, I'm rocking a weave. I've got some leave out. It's raining outside. There's a lot of moisture in the air. I'm going to go ahead and maybe wear a hairband over it for this moment, or a beautiful scarf, or I'm going to pull it back in one. Earlier today, I was hanging out with the girls and I had it down, and then it decided to puff up, and I'm just working with that. Patience means not necessarily going back in with a blow dryer or even a flat iron, and really just working with the strands that you have. That ability, that attitude of working with your strands as opposed to against them, and having patience with the situation to not always force it into what you want it to do, is really going to make the difference between leave out that remains nice, long, and strong throughout your style. I'm not going to call it a protective style because it's not a protective style. This is a style. That's going to make the difference between breakage in that style and maybe maintaining your length or even perhaps even gaining some length depending on how soft you are with it. Hi, Patricia Jenkins. Hi, thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate you and everyone else who's here for your time today. And also shout outs to the replay gang who will be checking out this video after, because this video absolutely is going to be available permanently here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. So we talked about the bonnet. We talked about protecting our hair while we sleep, on the couch, on a bike ride, at the gym, gym couch, gym and going on a bike ride. Similarly, if you are doing things that would impact the strands or you're trying to preserve a style, getting behind the issue and exhibiting patience in that way, as opposed to, forcing things to kind of match the style that you're going for after. So another big place that we tend to kind of, we the patience kind of flies out the window is when we're styling our hair. So it really does matter when you're doing a braid out or you're doing a twist out. Now, braid outs and twist outs on itself, they're low manipulation hairstyles, 100%. And they can absolutely be protective styles as well, depending on how you put your hair together. Like, are you wearing it in a bun or are you wearing it out? If you're wearing your hair in buns or your ends are tucked in and you're leaving your ends tucked in for a while, that could, qualify as a protective style. Now, it's no longer a low manipulation style if, to put the braids in, your hair is breaking off. We all been there in the chair where, the stylist is braiding the hair, the ends are catching up on each other, and they're just popping it off at the end of the strands. At that point, that's not a low manipulation style anymore. That's not exhibiting patience. It will absolutely cause more harm than good. And so, what really makes the difference here with those low manipulation styles, like the twist outs, like the braid outs, and even, Bantu knot outs, whatever, you might be doing those styles and not seeing the results that you want to see because of the way in which you're using, the way in which you're imparting the styles. Another thing that makes a huge difference as it relates to patience is being aware of like how your products are being used on your scalp. So not because you see a product on the internet, on YouTube, even here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks, not because you see that product being used and that individual is gaining success, it seems like their strands are slippery, it seems like it's working for them, it means it has to work for you. We really have to exhibit the patience to think about these processes while we're putting them onto our strands to make sure that we're not doing more harm than good. Hi, Clary Sage. Sage says, hi, I agree. Hello. I found that accepting what my hair naturally does has been key. I also let go of the opinions of others. Absolutely. That piece is key. And I really do like the fact that you said that, Clary. I'm going to go ahead and highlight your comment because that's a big piece. So having patience with what it is that you are trying to accomplish. You are trying to accomplish thicker strands. You are trying to accomplish longer hair. It's not always going to be sleek. It's not always going to be laid. And that's just not a characteristic of natural hair. If you have natural hair, you really do have to be comfortable with perhaps not having your edges laid. So, yes, I'm rocking a weave right now. I purposely went out of my way to choose hair that would be a little bit more, highly textured and easy to blend in with my natural strands. So because it's highly textured, because it is easy to blend in with my natural strands, there's no need for me to go off and be laying and slaying my edges all the time. I've reached a stage in my natural hair care journey where I'm okay with my, edges just coming out to play as they are. And for that reason, they've actually thickened up. So that's another example of, really having patience with the process, patience with yourself, and as Clary so beautifully stated, letting go of the opinions of others who will oftentimes challenge you in the sense of the patience that you have with your own hair journey and yourself. Hi, I am Carla Pretty. Thank you so much for joining. I am Carla Pretty says, I love your channel because I have very fine, thin hair and trying to get to know my hair. I'm 49. Well, welcome, Carla. Thank you so much for your wonderful comment. I am very pleased to know that Fine Natural Hair Rocks is helping you out and that, you're really getting to know your hair. And that's exactly what Fine Natural Hair Rocks is about. I personally struggled for a very long time with my natural hair, not only caring for it, but also accepting it. And so I know that my journey isn't, solely for me. I know there are a lot of people who also have a similar journey as well, similar struggles as well. And, hence the reason why what was supposed to be a personal blog for myself on Instagram has blossomed into where we are today. So we are talking about that key thing. So the key thing as it relates to, doing this one thing and your hair is going to love you is patience. And it sounds so simplistic, but it's not, because oftentimes, patience goes out the door for many reasons. You could be needing to go somewhere in the next hour and you only have 10 minutes to deal with your hair, and your hair is not in a state that you want it to be in. Sometimes we just have to let go of what it is that we expect the hair to look like and maybe lean into something else. So for me, that's the reason why it's very easy for me to have my wigs, have those, half wigs, able to just throw it on when you need it, take it off when you don't, because sometimes styles don't come out the way you want them to. So rather than ripping through my hair, applying heavy products to my hair, laying and slaying and ending up with breakage galore on the floor, it's so much more easier to just throw on a wig, think about it, and figure it out later, right? And that's what I mean when I say, it's one thing to talk about patience, it's another one to actually start implementing it as a practice that's going to be a part of your hair care journey. Patricia says, I did the porosity test and found out I have low porosity hair. See, that's a beautiful example of that patience bit. So oftentimes, we're applying products to our hair. Maybe it's not working the way we want it to work. And then, we just apply more products to the hair and are upset that it's not working the way we want it to work. Patience is definitely going through your journey and figuring out exactly like what type of hair you have. So I actually did do a video right here on Fine Natural Hair Rocks. Full disclosure, or, preamble, it is a Christmas style video. So if you are confused about your porosity, that is something that really does help. Once I found out my porosity, I was low porosity, just like Patricia Jenkins. Now I am medium porosity, which is something that can happen. It can change. But that really made the difference in terms of what products am I using? How am I layering those products? When something's not working, why is it not working? It could have nothing to do with the ingredients and everything to do with the way in which I'm layering and applying those products. So, Patricia, I'm really happy that you mentioned that, because it really does make a big difference in terms of like how successful, your products are going to be on your strands. And it really does make the difference. Like, even though you've got fine strands, if you have high porosity fine strands, you might need more butters. You might need something that's heavier and less likely to evaporate out the hair than someone who's got low porosity strands or someone who's got medium porosity strands. And I do explain a lot more about that in the video in the link that I dropped in the chat below. I am Carla Pretty. Yes, and I love your personality. Thank you. And thank you for having me here. Absolutely. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Life is lifing, and there's so many things that are forever pulling our attention. But, your self care is important. Your hair is important. I talk about this sometimes, to people in my professional spaces about Fine Natural Hair Rocks. It's so different than law, obviously. And people wonder, like, why? Like, that's why is that important to you? And it's important because the way you show up in the world, when you look good, you feel good. And it's one thing to forever be buying hair, buying wigs, buying weaves. But if you live in that and you're not comfortable with who you look like underneath or who you are once all those things are stripped away, then that is problematic for self-confidence, is problematic for self-esteem, and eventually it will trickle down, if not immediately, into other areas of our lives. So this is a very important topic in my view, and I'm really happy and I really do appreciate you for spending your self-care time in this way. Hi, Miranda. What's up? Miranda says, this is what I need, patience. Yes, it makes a huge difference. And many of us have so many competing interests, right? Like, sometimes you just got to carve that time out for yourself and make sure that you can do for you first. Because if you're not okay, then it's going to be very difficult to be okay for others. It's going to be very difficult to really carry other people in ways that are going to be beneficial for them, because your cup has to be full first. Even on a plane, we've all been on the plane where they say, put your life jacket on first. If you don't put your life jacket, or sorry, the ventilator, your oxygen mask, if you don't put your oxygen mask on first, how are you going to help others? It's the same thing when it comes to your self-care. You really do need to pour into yourself first. Dorothy Jones, does weave hair itch? It absolutely does. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. It does itch. I think it's just whatever the weft is made of is very itchy. It does have a way of like just irritating the skin. The way I've dealt with that is by keeping my scalp and my strands very moisturized and very hydrated. And also washing the weft first made a huge difference. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I need my rat tail comb to get in there and just get a good little itch going on, or scratch rather. But it's the reason why I haven't worn a weave in, this is my first weave in 10 years. And I probably won't be doing another one anytime too soon after I remove this, because Dorothy, it's a whole new world in the weave place. And I don't know how Beyonce does it, but actually, I don't think she's wearing weaves anymore. I think it's mostly like lace fronts and stuff like that. Like the lace fronts, the wigs, they're just so easy to put on, wear it, and go, you know? And it really does help with the patience bit that we've been talking about today, in the sense of, you know, doing something for your hair that you can satisfy the need to achieve the style you want, but at the same time, at least, you know, your hair is healthy, it's protected, and you're doing the things you need to do to keep it growing nicely. Clary, I love how your hair looks now in the photo you posted a couple days ago. Thank you so much. So for those of you who are wondering, and Clary, you let me know. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. I'm thinking that you're talking about the kinky curly yaki hair. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So you let me know if I'm correct. So we're here on the Find Natural Hair Rocks page. We're going to hop into the community tab, which so many of us have been engaging in every single day. Thank you for that. I believe you're talking about this hair. So this hair right here, this is the kinky curly yaki hair. And they actually have a sale going on right now. So if you were to go ahead and get onto the kinky curly yaki website, I believe there's also a video that I had done to show exactly how the kinky curly yaki hair operates as a, what do you call it? There's a protective style. So full disclosure, that hair was sent to me. I'm just trying to pull up the link. That hair was sent to me, and it's really nice hair. It does emulate natural hair very well, and so I would definitely recommend it, because again, it's one of those styles where you don't have to do a ton to make it look like it's natural, to make it look like it's blending in with your natural hair. Hi, Damaris Rodriguez. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us. Looks like the Sunday 6 p.m. time frame is a good one for us. If at any point I'm ever able to add a second day of live streaming, then at least now I know this is a good time for the Curlfriend crew. For those of you who are wondering, I did have to go to a wedding, gorgeous wedding at that, on Friday, which is the reason why we had to shift our 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live from Friday over to Sunday. So thank you so much for being so accommodating and coming through regardless. Miranda, girl, I am in love with the glueless wigs. Yes, the glueless wigs are so on point. So for the glueless wigs, if you are somebody who, you know, you can get away with glueless wigs, fantastic. I do feel like the glueless wigs tend to shorten my forehead, because you don't want to be attaching the glueless wigs, the lace, to your edges. They will break off, especially if you have fine strands. They will absolutely break off. I did wear a frontal to my wedding, and I had a much shorter forehead than I usually do. So it's something that I probably won't do again. But I mean, I can see a benefit for you and for others if you don't have that short forehead issue, or if you don't have an issue where the lace front is significantly changing the look of your face. It could be really, really good. So for me, I'm really into like the half wigs, and even like the headband wigs, but the glueless wigs, when they look good, Miranda, Curlfriend crew, they look good. They look really, really good. Clary says yes, this one. So I'm trying to find the link. I don't know what happened to that link. It should be here. 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share this for anybody who wants to see how that hair looks going on, how it moves. It's a quick 1-minute video that's available that's all about the kinky curly natural hair. And the link to get your was it that one? Oh, here's another one too. And if you're trying to get what do you call it there, a unit, and you want to save a little bit of coin on that unit, because that hair can get expensive, then I am absolutely able to provide you with a discount link as well. If you'll bear with me while I try to find it. Oh, here it is. So yes, so here's the link to that, and that's in the curl chat right there. Okay. Patricia, I just purchased the Oyen Handmade Honey Wash Shampoo and the Oyen Handmade Deep Moisture Conditioner. Nice! Have you tried it before, Patricia? Let me know how that works for you. I am in love with the slip on that Honey Wash Shampoo and the slip on that Hemp Deep Moisture Conditioner. The Hemp Deep actually no, sorry. I was thinking the regular conditioner. So the Hemp Deep Moisture Conditioner is really good for protein, and I think it's really good at like balancing moisture and protein. But for a protein deep conditioner, it does have a little bit of slip to it, which is really nice. But the Honey Wash shampoo, like that entire line of Oyen Handmade products is fantastic. And so I did talk about it a little bit in our last live, and I have enjoyed a lot of success using that line. I would say that when my hair started to turn around in the right direction, it was because I was using Oyen Handmade products. Nadoom said, "Oh, where's the wig from?" So the wig is actually from Kinky Curly Yaki, and this is the URL for that. So yeah, the wig is really nice. I did wear that wig to Vegas on my last trip to Vegas for a bachelorette, and it was a hit. It was very easy to rock in the hot sun, which is what's going on right now. It was also very easy to wear when my hair was, doing what it does. And again, having patience with it. So I went down to Vegas. I had my real hair out. Those of us with highly textured, fine natural strands knows that you go down into the heat with one texture. Maybe you blew it out. Maybe you did a wash and go. Maybe you did a twist out, braid out, whatevs. Heat happens, and now you've got a completely different look. Rather than fight that, it's so good to have a wig that looks like your natural hair, so that you could just plop it on, or and then while you reset your style, or while you take a break from styling, whatever. It's such a to me, it's a better thing to do than kind of like fighting through what is now matted strands, what is now shrunken strands, and what is now probably likely going to lead to breakage because you don't have access to the arsenal of things that you might have access to when you're not on vacation. So for vacation purposes, I find personally that taking advantage of wigs that look like your natural hair or could be mistaken for natural hair, I find have really made a huge difference as it relates to being able to like retain length. Um, so yeah, like I'm really excited about like that particular tip because prior to learning my fine natural hair, taking the time out again, the patience to learn it, it was really a situation where I was experiencing breakage and didn't know what to do. So yeah, girlfriend, if you liked that tip, then please go ahead, like this video. That tells YouTube that this was a really good live. This is a really good video. And also, share this video with a friend. If you know anyone who's struggling with their natural hair care journey, perhaps their hair isn't growing as long as it should, or they want to thicken it up, or they're just confused, then absolutely send them over to Find Natural Hair Rocks. And your questions are always no question is a bad question. I'm always happy to help, and we're in this journey together. Girlfriend, thank you so much for watching today's video. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream. I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you tomorrow with a highly requested video about skincare. Yes, we're shifting gears a little to talk about skincare. I always get questions about what my skincare regimen looks like. And so I do want to start responding directly to the girlfriend crew. That is what this whole channel is about. You ask for it, you receive it. I'm only here to make the videos that you actually need and that you actually want to see. I love you so much. I really do appreciate you. Have a blessed and wonderful Sunday. Go into your week with your head held high, your confidence on 10, your self-esteem on 10, and know that you are loved and highly cherished here on Find Natural Hair Rocks. I will see you in the next video. Bye.